Good evening. My name is Amina Drame. I represent the southern states of our African Union. My constituents include Angola, Botswana, Democratic Republic of Congo, Lesotho, Madagascar, Malawi, Mauritius, Mozambique, Namibia, Swaziland, Tanzania, Zimbabwe, Zambia, and South Africa, the birth state of our Honorable Nelson M. Mandela.
Good evening. My name is Amira Rocha. I represent the eastern states of our African Union. My constituents include Kenya, Tanzania, Uganda, Rwanda, Burundi, Somalia, Djibouti, Eritrea, Comoros, Seychelles, Sudan, South Sudan, and Ethiopia. The headquarters of our African Union and the never colonized land of the kings. Asante sana.
Good evening. My name is Khalil Abdul-Kabir. I represent the 6th region of our African Union. My constituents include 41 million Africans in North America, 26 million in Central America, 10 million in European Union. Good evening. My name is Khalil Abdul-Kabir. I represent the 6th region of our African Union. My constituents include 41 million Africans in North America, 26 million in Central America, 10 million in European Union, 1 million in Asia, 23 million in the Caribbean, and 103 million Africans in South America, the largest R side of the continents.
Good evening. My name is Aliku Koulibaly. In conclusion, Africa, a birthplace of mankind, knowledge, civilization, religion, beauty, hospitality, and natural resources, a continent so loved by God, He placed it in the middle of the universe, sustaining all other continents, resourcefully, morally, and culturally. African Union, 54 states, 6 regions, 1 billion people, with all natural resources and a future destination for good global investors and tourists. Thank you.
Okay, before you go, there was a challenge. Anyone who knows all the African countries, raise your hand. All of them. All of them? Okay.
I will now say the 54 states of Africa.
One second. What did you say?
53 states of Africa. Algeria, Angola, Benin, Botswana, Burkina Faso, Burundi, Cameroon, Cape Verde, Central African Republic, Chad, Comoros, Côte d'Ivoire, Congo, Djibouti, Egypt, Equatorial Guinea, Eritrea, Ethiopia, Gabon, Gambia, Ghana, Guinea, Kenya, Lesotho, Libya, Madagascar, Malawi, Mali, Mauritania, Mauritius, Morocco, Mozambique, Namibia, Nigeria, Republic of Congo, continuing, Saint Tom and Principe, Senegal, Senegal,
Just like writing or the Word of God, which was taught to human beings by the god Jehuti, music, on the other hand, which was also taught to human beings by the goddess Hathor or Hathor, has remained an integral part of any African celebration. To warm the people up, a lone drummer stepped on the stage with enough musical instruments to share and engage everyone to participate. Let us watch the lone drummer.
Okay, now we're going to have a little audience participation. Now, I don't know how we're going to work this, but let me see. We're going to just start something. Everybody got some rhythm. All right, everybody, let's say 1, 2, 1, 2. All right, here we go. Tell me here, you got to hold this down. Come on. You hear the church. You say, all right, the drum. American style, all right? Keep on saying if you want to. Now you see, the drum is very important because it's a message thing, it's a healing force. And you got to remember, we all are African. I'm African just born here in this country. You're African born wherever you're born. But we have to stay together because in Africa, that's the problem. We can't divide ourselves. We have to unite as human beings because we all were created from the man up above. All of us are his creation. So I want to say thank you, and I'll do a little solo before I go. African American, Latin, Jew, we all mixed up here together on this. Drum talk. Thank you very much.
Speaker after speaker was introduced and each shared their story for the celebration. Councilman Jackson, who's running for Manhattan Borough President, had a lot to say about his achievements, the savings he brought to the city from Albany, and his goal of doing more when he becomes Manhattan Borough President. Let us watch his presentation.
Good evening to all of you and peace and blessings. Let me just say thank you for inviting me to the Bronx. And in fact, mostly all of my family lives in the Bronx, in Co-op City, near the courthouse on 161st Street in various parts of the Bronx. And in fact, I grew up in Harlem, and my family moved to the Bronx from Sugar Hill in 1963. And I moved back into Manhattan, Washington Heights in 1975. And that's where I live now with my family. So let me just say that I'm so happy to be here in order to celebrate 2012 Africa Day celebration here in the Bronx. What's important to know is that the focus today is about surviving and assisting one another during disaster relief. And in fact, in talking about that subject with my wife, Tanzania, where my wife is from, she just came back this past Monday. Her father, my father-in-law, passed away, and they had to rush home to bury my father-in-law. So she was there for 3 weeks, and she's back. He passed away at age 87, and by Tanzanian standards, that's equivalent to about 95, 97. So, and left 9 beautiful children behind. But I wanted to say that overall, that we as a people must be able to participate in involvement in helping one another. So, for example, as you know, when there's a disaster relief, right, not only do they need money, not only do they need water and food, but they also need blood and various things like that. So one of the things I want you to think about, and you need to just think about this for a second, I'm not going to ask anyone to raise their hand. How many of you have given blood? Don't raise your hand, just think about what I'm asking. How many of you give blood on a regular basis? How many of you have given plasma? If you know what that is, plasma is part of the blood. But burn victims and cancer victims need plasma. How many of you are registered with the National Bone Marrow Bank? So that if someone needs a bone marrow, you go in to save someone else's life. How many of you have signed the back of your driver's license so if you're brain dead, that someone else can live? And I know that there's some controversy as far as a Muslim signing the back of their driver's license in order to donate their organs, but I've consulted different imams and Imam Shashi, you know, Imam Shashi in Manhattan, and that is not haram in order to do that. So I say to all of us, we must be involved in disaster relief. So for example, the most recent one that many people were aware about was the disaster relief that was for Haiti. And the promise, billions of dollars of promise for Haiti. And how much came through? Hardly anything. Maybe about $1.5 billion, even though billions have been promised. You know, some people talk the talk, but as a people, we must come together and organize in order to help one another.
The celebration came to its most important speaker when the keynote speaker was introduced to the audience. Let us watch the Honorable Charles Rangel give his keynote speech.
Studies of man and humankind, finding out that God had created all of humankind in Africa. And I had once thought to myself, as soon as I get to heaven, Perez, I'm going to ask for 5 minutes to talk with God. And they're going to tell me that she's busy and I'd have to wait. But sooner or later, I would see her and she says, Rangel, please don't come up here starting your political business. I said, no, God, I just wanted to know, what did black folks ever do to you to get you so angry that wherever I go, I'm talking about poverty and pain and misery and famine? And she said, sit down just for 1 minute. When I thought about making human beings, I got the most beautiful colors that I could find in the world. Black, gold, bronze, everything. And then I ran out of colors, and as we had some Europeans that were thrown in there, you know. And then I looked at the magnificent thing that I had done. And I said, where can I place this magnificent creation? And I said, only in a magnificent place. And that would be where mountains like Kilimanjaro, where be streams and rivers and trees and birds and animals. It would be paradise. I said, yes, God. And then what? She says, you tell me then what? A handful of white folks come over there, cut you up in little pieces, you start fighting each other, and you come up me asking what did I do?